Hey guys. So I want to come live with you quickly because I have a client coming up. And partially I want to do that because I was supposed to go live yesterday and I didn't. So I want to tell you what happened and then I want to give you a little something. I was planning on coming live to do a training on how to be a lighthouse, how to be a lighthouse in our life, how to be a lighthouse in our business. And unfortunately, um, we got a foot of snow here in Colorado. I'm sorry, I'm messing with the comments. I want to make sure I can see the comments if something comes up. But we got like a foot of snow overnight in Colorado, not yesterday, but on Wednesday night. And yesterday morning, my husband was cleaning out the snow and I don't know what he was doing, but he was using the shovel to get some of the snow off of our pine trees because I guess it was just so much snow. It was so heavy. We were afraid some of the trees might break or some of the branches might break. And the shovel flipped and he hit himself in the eye with the shovel. So instead of coming live, and doing my little training on being a lighthouse in our lives, being a lighthouse in our business, I ended up having to take him to the emergency room. He is okay, but he gave himself a pretty good gash in his eye, like on the cornea. And so he's on pain medication and antibiotics and stuff like that. But he's fine. So I will do my training on being a lighthouse and lighting up, essentially drawing our clients to us, lighting up the world with our gifts next week, probably earlier next week. Maybe I have to look at my schedule, see which morning I don't have clients, but maybe Wednesday. But today I've had this thing this week. I've actually written quite a bit about it, about how love is the catalyst. Love obviously is a catalyst in our lives, but it's also very much a catalyst in our business. And oftentimes, when something feels stuck, when something's not moving in our relationships, in our work, in our businesses, even in our health in some ways, it's because there's an aspect of ourselves or of that part of our lives that we are not in love with. And so um, when we're not loving, then blocks happen. So I wanted to come briefly on to just kind of talk about how soulful success is about love. So when we're not getting the results we want, when things are not flowing, it's usually because there's an aspect of that thing itself that we're not in love with. So if my area is helping soulful healers, entrepreneurs really get unstuck and design an amazing offer and an amazing business that's going to, transform lives, be in alignment with their soul, and fill their bank account. So for me, I do a lot of that with business and with success from that perspective. But you can take anything I say and you can apply it to another area of your life. So, if the way I look at it is, if we're not in love with an aspect of our business, if we're not in love with our clients, if we're not in love with the offers or the products that we have, if we're not in love with our delivery, with the process, the system that we use to deliver our products or our offers, our programs, if we're not in love with our marketing strategy, with our sales strategy, with our content strategy, and last one, if we're not in love with ourselves, because we are part of our business, then something is automatically going to feel stuck. Something is automatically not going to flow. When there is no love, without that love, it's just not going to work. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to work. It's not going to feel fun. It's not going to feel playful. And it's going to feel like a lot of work to get things moving. So it's going to be out of flow. So if you're not getting the results you want in an area of your life, and particularly in your business, then you want to take a look at, if you look at these things like, okay, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this, What am I not having fun with? What am I not in love with? And then you want to start looking at that. You want to start looking at each of these things. Am I in love with my clients? Am I in love with, and when I say with my clients, it could be simply that your work has evolved and you want to work with people who, not so much different people, but people who are a different level of their process. So, for example, if you work with, you help people who have had traumas in their lives, then, there's one level of working with trauma is people who are really stuck in it. They're just trying to get their heads above water. Another level of working with people who've had traumas is there's no longer stuck in it, but they're really willing, they're ready to release it. They're ready to get to the next level in their lives, and they're sensing how remnants or residue of the trauma is still keeping them stuck. Those are two very different people. Or, maybe you've been working with everyone, but your juice, what you want to do, like let's say you're a parenting coach. Maybe you love to work with parents and help them, parent their child more effectively, more lovingly, but you're realizing you really like to work with parents of teenagers. That's where your juice is. That's what you want to do. So looking at who you work with and making sure you're in love with these people will free that up. And sometimes it's literally you need to pivot and work with somebody completely different. But sometimes it's simply, it's the same people, but you want to work with them at a slightly different level. Um, Same thing with your process. I had a client come to me, and she was a healer and did some shamanic work, and she was quite successful. And she came to talk to me to scale. She had a very full practice of working with people one on one, but she was burned out, and so she wanted to start developing a group program and wanted help figuring out how to do that. And so we did a lot of brainstorming, came up with this great offer that really felt aligned with her soul and with what she wanted to do. She was clear on her people, everything was great. And then she came back to me a little while later and said, something's off. I'm not having as much fun. I'm not enjoying it. So we looked at all these different areas, and what we discovered in talking with her was that what was missing was connection. She loved the connection she got from working with people one on one, and she was not actually enjoying that or having that in the group process. And so then we were able to start to essentially diagnose where the love was missing, what was missing, and start to figure out what needed to happen to make it different. And we came up with two ideas. One was to make the group, like to break up the group and do multiple groups that were very small, like 8 people. So she could go very deep with each person. And she liked that idea. The other idea was to start seeing people like one on one, maybe 1 or 2 sessions in the program where they could go deep with her. And that's what she chose to do in the end, is to work with people individually as part of the group process so that she could really get to know them, really get to where they were at, and energetically really connect with them. So you have to figure out when something's stuck, when something is not working, when you're not getting the results you want, you have to figure out what aspect of it you're not in love with. And then you have to work on that, like at which point you have options. You can either work on loving what is, essentially, like be like, okay, I'm not in love with that aspect. What do I need to do to fall in love with that? What do I need to do? What's my practice to love my people more, to love my process more, to love my marketing more, to love myself more? What do I need to do to love what is more? That's one aspect of it. The other is then you can shift things around. You can decide, oh, I'm not in love with that aspect of it. Okay, what do I need to change? What do I need to change about this so that I'm having more fun, so that I'm loving it more, so that I'm enjoying it more? So that's my invitation for you guys, is to really figure out if something doesn't feel right in your life, in your business, in your relationship, what aspect of it are you not in love with? And how do you either find a way to love it more, or how do you find a way to shift it, to tweak it around so that you can fall in love with it again? And of course, as always, if you want help, with figuring out where you're stuck, what's blocked, and how to tweak it and how to fall in love with it more, reach out to me. Put like hashtag brainstorm in the comments or send me a direct message, and we'll have what I call a free Soulful Success breakthrough where we'll explore what's stuck, what needs to shift, and how to get you moving so that you can serve as many people and show up as fully in your life and in your work as possible. So that's it. I have to get ready for my client in 5 minutes. I promise I will be back next week and do that training on being a lighthouse as promised. And until then, have an amazing weekend. Let me make sure I don't have any comments. I'm not seeing any comments, but that's always tough with StreamYard. I'm not always sure if there are comments. I'm not seeing them. I'm going to assume there's no comments. Again, if you want to meet with me, figure out where you're stuck, figure out how to love what you do and how to get it to the next level, hashtag brainstorm. If you have any questions, put them in a comment. And of course, feel free to always connect with me in the DMs. I'm actually really approachable and I love to chat with people and figure out where they're at and hear about what's working and what's not working in your life. Have an amazing weekend. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.